matchup everybody wanted besides, everybody. As the Los Angeles Dodgers will be taking on the New York Yankees, and basically the 2 number 1 teams, the 2 teams that everyone knew was gonna be here, but really hoped they wouldn't be, as the 2 Kansas Cities of the MLB, more or less, if you will, the Lakers and the Celtics, however you wanna slice it. Yankees ending their drought of 15 years since 2009 of getting back. Dodgers getting back basically after being just winning a couple of years ago, so they're pretty familiar here. The one thing I'll point out too before I kinda get into the breakdown of it, what I think is very interesting about this one, the Dodgers went 6 games with the Mets, which on paper looks like a competitive series. Every single game in that series was an ass whooping. The closest one was 7-3. That was the closest score of that entire series. Like, they basically just took turns whooping each other's ass. The Guardians
Yeah.
and the Yankees was a gentleman's sweep, where the biggest score difference was 6-3, and that was in game 2, with 2 of them going into extra innings. So it is kind of funny when you look at those from on paper, they look here, then you turn on the magnifying glass just a touch, it's like, "Oh, the Yankees are the ones coming off the hard-fought series," actually, when you look at it, where the Dodgers basically took 2 days in Cancun during that. They might as well have at that point, so this one's interesting. We got 2 of the best players, obviously, Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani. 2 weirdly extremely good pitching staffs, 2 dynamic lineups. I think my question for you is, are we gonna see a high-scoring World Series where the bats come to fly? Or is this gonna be the one where 2 very good offensive teams come together and they hit the under, and they just end up their pitching ends up just surprising everybody?
If there is more than one game that hits the under in this World Series, I'll be shocked. I think at least there will be 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6, 6 out of 7 games that hit the over. Just given off of their scoring in these playoffs, I don't believe either team has scored less than 3 runs in a game yet. Sorry, the
Um,
Dodgers scored 2 against the Padres in their second game in the DS. So yeah, two runs, the lowest scoring for either team in this. As you mentioned, Shohei, Aaron Judge, big 2 ticker tape guys. By the way, 3 and 4 on the top best players in the MLB, also in this game, and Mookie Betts and Juan Soto, depending on how you look at it. It's it's insane how good they are, and let's not even forget that the Dodgers still have a Freddie Freeman that could come out and play. You don't know how well he's going to handle this ankle right now. I know it's been troubling him throughout the playoffs, but if he comes out and he's Freddie Freeman, we're talking about batting champ Freddie Freeman, who might be 5th when fully healthy on this list of best offensive players in the MLB right now. And yeah, I think there's so much talent across the board. It's kind of wild to see, and uniquely with the Yankees, it's shocking to see homegrown players actually succeeding for the Yankees. Everybody talks about this team has been brought. There's the thing going around on Twitter with this is where all these players started from, and it's like the Pirates, the Padres, the A's, all these things. Throw that out the window because look at the shortstop, look at the third baseman, look at the left fielder, look at the it's different positions for each team that are all homegrown. Now the Dodgers, on the other hand, not so much, but
Hmm.
at least with the Yankees, for the first time, a majority of their 25-man, 26-man roster is homegrown, which is kind of crazy. Or at the very least, they came to the Yankees in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
They were drafted by another team and came to the Yankees in the minor leagues. So it is wild to see that in what my history with the Yankees is, where A-Rod, Jeter, where outside of Jeter, Posada, and Mariano Rivera, everybody else was brought into the team after their first big contract. That was always how it was. So it's cool to see that. But yeah, I mean, there's no chance more than one of this game hits the under. This is going to be an offensive powerhouse, and feel bad for Garrett Cole and any other pitcher in this one because, yeah, you got a murderer's row on both sides.
Absolutely. And before we get into just picking the series too, I do want to point out with those 2 superstars we talked about, Aaron Judge has been, I don't want to say labeled, but like there's been a lot of talk that he's not a playoff performer, that he hasn't always come up to play. It's been basically the last couple postseasons. I think he was hitting like 1 for a while there or something like that, or like point .1. It was not looking good. Came alive against the Guardians. Like he came alive in that series. His career against the Dodgers, he has had 14 hits, 8 home runs, 11 RBIs, and 10 runs scored in 10 games with a .389 batting average. So he tends to do pretty well against the Dodgers for his career. Shohei Ohtani, on the other hand, takes a touch of a step back. Not a big step back. The problem is his standards are so damn high that it looks like he takes a step back. at a .209 batting average, 19 hits, 9 home runs, 18 RBIs, and 20 runs scored in 26 games. So I fully and wholeheartedly expect whoever wins this series, the MVP is going to be one of those two because I expect them both to show up, barring that Juan Soto Mookie Betts, like that quote unquote Robin to Batman just goes absolutely ballistic, like we just saw Jalen Brown do not that long ago in the NBA Finals. So I
Yeah.
I fully expect either Judge or Shohei to be. I expect them both to come out here and guns blazing, and maybe who performs better might be the difference maker too. It might just come down to the clash of titans, as simplistic and boring as that is.
Yeah, and don't sleep on Freddie Freeman or Giancarlo Stanton as being the other guy there in that mix because you talk about a guy who has a terrible average but has come alive late here in the playoffs.
Nothing
Giancarlo
but
Stanton,
dingers.
yeah, Giancarlo Stanton is that guy. I don't need to get on. Yeah, if anybody's heard me talk about his hitting since he became a Yankee, you understand my hatred of what he does. But anyways, it is something that there's no telling who's going to be the guy that steps up for these teams. I mean, for all we know, it's somebody who that's eighth in the lineup, ninth in the lineup. It might be a catcher for all we know. That's the guy that steps up. That's just how the World Series goes. Edgar Renteria won the World Series MVP for the Giants in 2012, and the guy was pretty much trashed for a majority of the season.
Absolutely, anything could definitely happen. So that comes to the point now. By the way, the over under for game one is set at 8.5. So we are taking the over. It sounds like I think we're
Yeah,
both taking the over at this
yeah,
point.
5-3. No, sorry. I guess we need 5-4 is what we need.
Oh, that's very doable. That could happen in an inning really quickly with either one of these teams. But all right, Kelsey, who are we taking and how many games?
It's been 15 years. I have a hard time going against Shohei, but I've learned my lesson about betting against Aaron Judge. I can't do it out of just the bottom of my heart. I do like Aaron Judge, and also he has one of the best moments in Dodger Stadium history, which is he told a guy who is sick with cancer, "I'll hit a home run for you today." He hits 3 in that game. Hit 2 in the game. Did his job plus some. So I got to root for somebody like Aaron Judge more so than the Dodgers because my Dodgers hatred runs deep. And so I'm going to go Yankees. This one's going to go 6. I'm going to go 4-2 Yankees.
Honestly, when you throw in the Aaron Judge telling that kid he's going to hit a home run, it's impossible to root against them for that one. My hatred for both teams runs deep, so I'm just going to root for the bets to hit. But as far as picking one, I'm going to say the Dodgers get it done. I think their lineup's just a little deeper. I think it's just the pitching's just a little better, and I think they had a slightly tougher road to get here. As far as I don't want to say battle tested. That's cheesy. I just think the
But they are.
teams they played were a touch better than the ones that the Yankees played. No shots to the Guardians, but they don't have a starting pitcher, for example. Like, they literally don't have a
You
starting
don't have a
pitcher.
healthy one at least. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. They basically had to Hail Mary at every single game and made it really close. Where I think the Dodgers, they just have a little bit more firepower and they'll have just enough pitching to get by. So I'm gonna take the Dodgers. We're gonna go in 6 as well. So I don't think it's a 7-game series. I think once someone goes
Yeah.
up 3-2, that'll be the wrapping paper on it. So let us know down below, guys, who you think is winning the World Series, which one of us is right, or are we somehow both wrong, which is very possible. It could maybe
I
we got
mean,
one of us got
maybe.
the right winner and it's a sweep or it's a 7. I don't know, but like somehow one
I
of us.
mean, maybe. Hope it doesn't happen, but maybe the Twitter map where who are you cheering for? You have LA and the Southern California area cheering for the Dodgers, New York, New Jersey cheering for the Yankees, and the rest of the map wants a comment to hit. Maybe that happens. Who knows? Hopefully it doesn't. But you know what?
I hope not as well too. Or if it does, I hope it's covered by insurance. But
Yeah,
either way,
seriously.
that